like here in Uganda. Uganda was moving very well in the 1960s. Then we had a man called Idi Amin. I don't know whether you heard of him. He was a soldier, a British soldier, poor, no education. He came and took over the government. We decided to fight him. But in a very short time, he expelled our Asians. There were Asian people who had come from Asia and settled here, especially India, Pakistan. This property here, this is a joint venture between the government and one of those people, one of our Indian origin people. Idi Amin expelled all this. And yet they were a very active investment group. They were in sugar, they were in hotels, they were in steel production. So here you had a leader of a NAM country undermining his own economy. So therefore, it is very crucial that we study very carefully the issue of the investment climate in our respective countries. When we kicked out all these people and we came into government, we brought back, we gave back the properties of our Asian citizens and non-citizens that Idi Amin had taken. We gave them back. We had a hot debate in Parliament. Some people saying this, some other. We said no, they must get back their properties. And they got their properties. And this one here is one of those people who came back as soon as he heard that we had given him. He came back he was in London. He came back here. And the other day I was asking our people, how many factories have been built by our Indian returnees? They told me 900 factories they had built since they came back. So this is one front line of struggle. The atmosphere for investors to produce goods and services using the raw materials we have in our respective countries. Now, once you produce a good or a service, then the next challenge is who buys what you produce. Somebody must buy it, and buy it in big quantities so that you continue expanding. That's why there is the internal market. Like Uganda here, we are a population of 46 million people, supported by the frontline states, Tanzania, Zambia. Initially Tanzania was alone, then Zambia, then Botswana. Now, to cut a long story short, Frelimo started fighting in 1964. Just we're not organized. How can we be 6 billion people? How can they be helpless? The ones who are helpless are the other ones, the other smaller group. But because we are not organized, we look helpless. But I can assure you, if we organize ourselves, we are not helpless. Now, finally, for our brothers and sisters from outside Africa, I want to mention to you that Africa has got huge potential. It is a huge continent, 12 million square miles. You can fit India into Africa 12 times, and India would fit there. But Africa is the origin of man. All of you here are either Africans or former Africans. That's what I tell the Europeans. They just laugh. I tell them that all of you are from Africans. But until recently, the population of Africa was small because all human beings started here, and it is only 100,000 years ago that some human beings started going from Africa to other parts of the world, according to the literature we have. But the out of Africa population grew more than the in Africa population. Why? Because of the diseases here. This climate, the one you see outside, is good for us, but it's also good for our enemies. The mosquitoes, the tsetse flies, the what. So the population of Africa remained small. But with modern technology, with modern means, we are now able to control the enemies of man in Africa, the mosquitoes, the tsetse flies. Therefore, for the first time in human history, the population of Africa now has overtaken the population of India and of China, respectively. We are now 1.5 billion, and we shall be 2.5 billion in the next 30 years. So now this huge population of Africa and of young people, once they are educated, they are a big production force, but also a consumer force. So therefore, I want to share this with our brothers from other parts of the global south, plus China, that Africa is now becoming more and more, it has always been, but it's becoming more and more area of opportunity. In the past, it was a source of raw materials, a little bit of also market, but now it has everything. The raw materials, the production force, the consuming force. So bear this in mind. There is insecurity here, insecurity there, but when we get together, we solve those problems. They only become unsolvable when we don't work together. As you can hear, even by 1970, a lot of Southern Africa was in chaos. Mozambique,